Hi, I'm Niall from Gulf Street Boat Sales. Today we're taking a look around this 2007 Jeanneau Prestige 36. This is a beautiful flybridge motorboat. It has a pair of Volvo Penta D6 310 horsepower engines on shafts, so she's shaft drive motor. It has currently got 525 hours on the clock. It's a one owner boat from new. It has all the original paperwork. She's VAT paid in the UK. It has been regularly serviced. It's actually here in my sort of home marina. So I've known the boat from basically whenever it arrived, when she was new back in 07. Very well cared for. It's a beautiful example. She's in really nice condition, very lightly used, almost never been slept on, just used really as a day boat. And it's a cracking layout of boat. Huge aft cockpit area here, nice saloon with lower galley. She's got 4 berths and 2 cabins, nice toilet and shower compartment, great flybridge on her as well, nice walk around side deck access, and she's a very good sea boat with those the D6 engines, upgraded engines. She's got a bow thruster, heater, great spec, full electronics package as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a walk around the boat. We're going to show you the condition that it's in, we're going to show you all the features inside, try and give you a really good idea of what this boat's all about. We're also going to put it through its paces in the water too, and hopefully help you to figure out whether it might be the right boat for you. Taking a walk down along the starboard side of the boat, again she's in beautiful condition, really nice shine to the gel coat. The bow rails, the rub rail with the stainless steel insert, perfect condition. All the portholes down along this starboard side, the surrounds are in good condition. The boot stripe, the green pinstripe there just above the anti-fouling paint, is also in good order. Taking a walk all the way down along here, we've got a slightly narrower side deck on the starboard side than we do on the port side, but it's still a decent size. You can, I mean, this is the side that the owner currently berths on, so it's still easy to make your way up along there. You just don't have quite as wide a walkway as on the port side. We have a wastewater suck out point there on the deck on this starboard side. There's also a macerator pump, so if you're at sea you can empty the tanks overboard. We've got our water fill point here on the starboard side. Chunky stainless steel midships cleat in good condition. We've got our handrail up along the cabin, superstructure roof line there. Jeanneau badge, the windscreen, the side saloon windows are in good condition on this side. That sliding opening window with the helm, so you can communicate with your crew whenever you're berthing. And then coming on back here, engine room vents below the rub rail are in good condition. All our deck fittings are in good shape here. We've got a big stainless steel deck scupper for clearing the water out of the aft deck. Heater outlet, Prestige 36 badge, all in good shape. And then the stern corner on the starboard side looks good too. We have our diesel fuel fill point, integrated swim platform wrapping around the stern. There is a wee mark here where he's obviously maybe just caught the platform on berthing, but that's the only mark there is really around this side door. It's been filled. Probably do another go, actually, a professional job, but it's not too bad there at all. But other than that, everything down along that starboard side of the boat looks the part. So we've turned the boat here to take a close look up along the port side of her as well. So the gel coat's in lovely condition down this side. Again, you've got this big chunky stainless steel rub rail insert. Chunky stainless steel handrails are in good shape on this side of her. The gel coat does have a nice shine to it. From the sort of mop and polish that we've given her. You can sort of see down along the hull bottom as well. She's come up very well. One wee tiny scuff out of her here, but it's not through the gel, just a wee minor scuff. Porthole surrounds and everything are in good condition. The engine room vents down on this port side are in good shape as well. Because she has those asymmetric side decks, and the side deck on the port side is wider than the one on the starboard side. You know, this side deck here is probably a good maybe 12 or 14 inches wide, so this is probably going to be the side that you would berth the boat on if you're coming alongside. This is going to be the side that's naturally easier to make your way forward on, so you want to hang fenders and stuff. But obviously, because this boat is in this corner berth, the owner likes to berth her stern too, but generally speaking you'll probably berth her on the port side. There is a wee gel coat repair here, which obviously hasn't been professionally done. It's just been touched in with a wee bit of rough gel, so that would need sort of sanded and fared smooth, but other than that it's fine. It's obviously a wee minor thing. Chunky stainless steel cleats, solidly secured, all in good condition. Coming all the way back then, the deck superstructure looks good down this side as well. Jeanneau badge, your nav lights, your handrail up high there. It's very safe access up along that port side of the boat to make your way out onto the foredeck. Prestige 36 badge back here is in good shape, big chunky cleat again on the stern corner on the port side. A few wee skin fittings and stuff all look good, nice shine to the gel, and the swim platform on the port corner is unmarked as well, so she hasn't been bounced around pontoons or anything, so it's a nice good clean condition there down along the port side. So with the high bow rail and the handrail here on the cabin roofline, it's really easy to make your way forward up onto the foredeck of the boat. Obviously it's a very broad boat, 12 foot 7 inches wide, and that beam's carried well forward here. You have a nice flared bow under, so that serves two purposes. One is it makes it a very dry ride if you're out in heavier seas. It throws the spray well clear, but it also means you get loads of space up on the foredeck, so you're a really usable foredeck. So we've got a big sun pad cushion here for the front of her. These cushions have never been used. The owner sort of produced them from his garage for us this morning. So these are like brand new. They clip into the rail at the front so they won't blow off whenever the boat is underway. And you've got handrails down either side, so if you do have guests out here, even when the boat's underway, say at slow speed, you've got a handrail there to hold on to. Again, big chunky stainless steel cleats up on the foredeck. We've got a nice polished anchor roller here with a Brittany style anchor, fairly chunky one, looks like probably 16 or 18 kilos. Brittany anchor. It's raised and lowered with this Lumar electric windlass, and then you get easy access into the anchor locker here as well. Good sized anchor locker, plenty of storage for, you've got some dock lines and buoys and stuff down in here. You've also got a remote control, so as well as the windlass switch at the helm, you've got a remote control here. The switch is turned off at the dash, but I believe this is working. And you've got your manual winch handle stored in this wee pocket, so if you need to manually slacken or tighten the clutch, you can do that. Everything up here is nice and clean and tidy like the rest of the boat. Hinges, clips and catches are all working well, and just a convenient anchoring layout. All the tread surfaces up here are moulded non-skid, so it's safe to walk around. And if you're using the boat for fishing off, you can fish off the foredeck or whatever. So just a nice big usable foredeck and a good anchor setup here. The bow of the boat is in lovely condition. The gel coat is in really good shape all the way around the deck. There's no impact marks, no damage or anything. The rub rail all the way around the nose of her is perfect. The anchor roller itself is perfectly straight. It obviously hasn't had any knocks or anything, and that goes the same for the bow rails. They're all solid and secure, no impact damage, no scuff marks on them. You can see where our guys, we've polished her in the water just for the video. You can see where they sort of couldn't reach into the bow. Now the bow is in nice condition. It's a wee bit flat, needs a little bit of polish, but that can be done prior to the boat going to her new owner. So if she comes out of the water, we can obviously get at that and get that bit finished. But she has cleaned up super well everywhere else, and no reason to believe why she won't clean up the same. There does appear to be one tiny wee nick out of her just above the blue anti-fouling paint down on this starboard side, which possibly could be caused by the anchor being lifted up with the windlass. Maybe it's just swung into the bow and took a wee chunk out of it. But again, it's well above the waterline. That's something we can fill whenever the boat's being lifted out of the water. But you can see from taking a look here at the shape of the bow, she's obviously got a fine entry at the nose of her and a nice flared shape to the bow, so that's going to throw all your spray clear. And they have a great reputation as being a very sea kindly boat, and by looking at the shape of the bow, you would imagine that to be the case. So I think the only thing that you could really fault the exterior of this boat on is the sort of black surrounds to the saloon side windows. Now from the factory they come with like a vinyl. You can actually see a wee bit of it up here. So it's like a vinyl sticker just to trim around the sides of the windows, and then these vertical bars on the opening side sections too, and they are notorious for fading. Now the owner has sort of touched them in with some sort of I'm not too sure what it is, but they've touched them with maybe like a light paint or something, and it's just a wee bit patchy in places, and it's gone a wee bit white in spots too. So whenever you're up close, it looks a wee bit tatty. From a distance it's totally fine, but up close it looks a wee bit tatty. If it was my boat, I'd probably replace that with vinyls. It's not a complicated thing to do. We've done it before ourselves on other Jeanneaus, but if you change those vinyls or put them back to vinyl again, that would just freshen up the look of the side windows, and you're then back to a boat that's pretty much like brand new. Yes, there's one or two super minor little gel coat scratches, but I mean that's par for the course. But with those vinyl sections renewed, the boat from an exterior point of view, it looks as good as new. This is a super clean boat. We've got a huge integrated swim platform at the stern of the boat. Wraps around the corners on the port and starboard side as well, so it makes boarding the boat a breeze, whether you're stepping off a pontoon along the stern as we are, or on the port and starboard side. It's probably around about 4 feet deep. It's the full sort of 12.5 foot width of the boat, so a huge big swim platform, and makes boarding a breeze. It's all single level with the aft cockpit as well. Go through this locking cockpit door too, so you can lock this closed, keep kids and pets and things inside the boat. And then that clips open there whenever you're just in and around the marina. We've got a swim ladder underneath this locker lid, so a 4-step stainless steel folding swim ladder in good condition. We have this is access to an emergency rudder if needs be, and then we have a big storage compartment under this locker, which is ideal for carrying a life raft. There actually is a valise style life raft that the owner has. He's going to chuck in with the sail, but it maybe needs service if he has it at home. But a nice big locker means that your life raft is very easy to get to if you need it in an emergency. We've got a shore power hookup point here. Plug the shore power in here. Obviously got diesel fill point there for the starboard tank, and another diesel filler here for your port tank. We handrail here so you can grab onto that if you're climbing up the swim ladder, and the owner has a wee rod holder clipped on there, but that's removable, so you can unscrew that if you don't have any requirement for it. As we walk through into the cockpit then, we've got the nice Jeanneau badge and logo here. Through the opening gate, as I said, there's no steps or anything. We have a little transom shower, hot and cold running water in here, so you can either rinse the boat off or have a shower after a swim, and then an easy access into the aft cockpit. The swim platform and the cockpit floor and the steps up to the flybridge have all been laid in real teak, so it's in very good condition. Now, it has been varnished by the previous owner, or the current owner, and you can see on the swim platform where it's obviously outside the covers. Normally the camper covers would be kept on here, so the swim platform's outside the covers. Some of the varnish has eroded away or worn away, so it probably would need redone again, or if it was my boat I would probably prefer not to have it varnished, so I would sort of sand it back, bring it back to the original teak and just let it go silvery. It's much easier to maintain that way, but the teak is in very good condition. Inside it looks really smart, the steps and everything look perfect, but the swim platform is just starting to go a wee bit patchy, and either needs revarnished or sanded back. So the aft cockpit area is huge on this boat. I mean, it takes full advantage of that 12.5 foot beam. Really good space out here. We've got a nice moulded in set of stairs up to the flybridge, so it makes access to the flybridge really easy. We've got a huge bench across the back of her on the starboard side. It's probably easily big enough to accommodate 5 or 6 people without a problem. As I said, teak floored throughout. Nice flybridge overhang as well. It comes almost out to the transom bulwark back here, the transom gunnel. So it means that with the covers, the camper covers, you don't need any framework or anything. It's just a simple screen that goes from the flybridge overhang straight onto the transom. So you get very good protection from the elements back here as well. You're not going to get, even on a windy day or a wet day with the covers off the boat, you shouldn't be getting any rain blowing into the saloon if you've got the door open. We've got a load of downlighters recessed into that roof section as well. It's all highly polished, looks the part. Lovely stainless steel framed sliding patio doors giving you access into the saloon. Nice wide door running very freely on the runners, and the glasswork and the stainless steel surrounds are all in perfect condition. We have lockers back here. These are lockable lockers. The owner has them locked at the minute, but I would presume the one underneath the stairs is probably storage. This one here is most likely your gas bottle, or possibly vice versa, but your gas bottle will be in one of those, and a bit of storage. Huge laserette underneath the cockpit floor with a ton of storage in there we'll take a look at in a minute. And then you've also got storage underneath these bench seats. One other thing I want to point out here is the big deck scuppers. So there's one here that drains water out underneath the swim platform, and there's another one on this side that drains the water out over the down in there, out over the through a skin fitting on the starboard side of her. So if you do manage to ship any water either over the nose of this boat, I mean that's going to be fairly unlikely on this boat because she's got such a pronounced flare to the bow. Most of any spray you encounter is going to be thrown clear, but if you do manage to take a wave over the side of her, it's going to run down the side decks and out those scuppers. So she is a good safe sea boat. It's obviously category B rated and things. There's wee molded in steps to give you access up to the side decks on both sides of her with big chunky handrails here as you make your way forward, and then you've got nice high bow rails and handrails along the cabin roof line as well. So very safe boat to walk around the decks on. So taking a look in the laserette then, this lifts up on a big gas strut which is in good condition. Plenty of soundproofing on the underside of the deck throughout the boat, both here and in the saloon. Ton of storage space down in here. The owner's got a few bits and pieces of maintenance items, life rafting things, or life belts, sorry. We've got good access into the stern gear there and your steering gear and all that sort of stuff. Everything in there looks good. The bilges in this boat are nice and dry. There's no water lying in them at the moment. You've got your exhaust water locks there for both the port and starboard engine. You've got your aluminium fuel tanks, 400 litre fuel tanks on either side of her. Yeah, good bit of room for storage and cruising gear and stuff in here. And then this hatch here opens up again with plenty of soundproofing around it, but this gives you easy access to your sea cocks for opening up your water supplies to the engine, and you have these handles on them so you don't have to climb all the way down in there to operate the valves. You can easily operate them from deck level. And then you get your raw water strainers here for the port and starboard engine. Again, they're easy to get to. They're out in the aft cockpit underneath the floor of the cockpit, so you don't have to go and start removing furniture in the saloon or anything. You can just easily open up this hatch and clear your strainers, keep an eye on them, make sure your coolant is flowing nicely through the engine. So you know, this is a well thought out boat, very well designed, with maintenance, with a view to maintenance, and you know, sort of the things that are important on a boat whenever you are going cruising on it. As owners move up from sports cruisers to flybridges, I mean, this is sort of, although this is like a step above a standard entry-level flybridge boat, it's still, you know, potentially going to be your first flybridge boat. And a lot of things, one of the most important things is a sort of molded-in flight of stairs, as opposed to a ladder or, you know, more awkward access to the flybridge. So the Prestige 36 is one of the few of this size that has a nice molded-in staircase, so it makes access to the flybridge a breeze. And then we've got super easy access up onto the side decks on the port side of her. As I said, these are wider. There's asymmetric side decks in this boat, so they're wider on the port side than they are on the starboard side. So it's very easy to get up onto the side decks on that port side and make your way forward out onto the foredeck of the boat. So once you come up that nice flight of stairs, we've got a lovely flybridge up here. We have a bucket style helm seat and navigator seat in front of that helm console. We'll take a look at in a wee minute. We've got a wrap-around seating area here on the starboard side around this nice low-set cockpit table. There's probably enough seating up here for 3 or 4 adults around the table, plus your helmsman and navigator. These convert into sun loungers as well, so the seat backrest folds down flat. You got a lovely sun lounger here, and you've also got like a little recliner on the starboard side beside the helmsman. This flybridge looks like it's never been used. The seats, the pedestal seats, are in absolutely like new condition. These cushions were produced this morning by the owner from his garage. They have literally never been on the boat, he tells me. We always helmed the boat from downstairs, so the cushions are like brand new. This one you can see still in the original wrapping, so we decided just to leave that there so that the next owner can have the pleasure of opening that up. But these cushions have never been used. They're set at a nice height. You do have good protection from the sort of reverse raked windscreen whenever the boat's on their way, and you can sort of sit, everyone can sit in close proximity with the helmsman, have a conversation whenever you're on your way. You can have a picnic up here or whatever. It's just a really nice flybridge, and it's the guardrails come around to a nice height. There's, you know, everywhere you put your hand out, you're gonna, you know, grab onto something solid, so you can hold on whenever the boat's on your way. And if you aren't using the flybridge like the previous owner, all these cushions are fully removable. You can keep them at home whenever they're not being used. And if you do lift them up, most of the tread surfaces are moulded with non-skid decking. So to fold this sun pad area flat, you pull this forward. Very simple to do. And then you have a full-size sun lounger back here. As I said, we've got this little fixed recliner This seat cushion just slots in, but that's a solid back behind that, so that's just a fixed sun lounger. And again, if you lift these cushions underneath, all the tread surfaces are molded non-skid, so you can walk around on them. It's not going to be slippy underfoot. If the flybridge is being left with the cover off, there's plenty of deck scuppers. We've got a big scupper here and a channel around the top of the stairs, so you're not going to get water running down the staircase. And we've also got little scuppers in the front, up at the driver's and passengers' feet. So any water that finds its way in here is going to drain down those scuppers. There's no water lying up here. There's no like tracks or pools. You know, there's no high water marks or anything. So this flybridge does a great job of clearing the rainwater away. It's not going to pool and then, you know, potentially cause leaks downstairs. And in the saloon, this boat's bone dry. There's no water leaks or anything, so it's all in a really nice condition. Great design that way. If you are using this sun lounger area up here, you do have these nice high guardrails all the way around it, so you hopefully shouldn't lose any passengers over the side. This radar arch is fixed. It has a couple of speakers in here for the stereo system, the same stereo system as downstairs. Unfortunately, this wee speaker here has had one wee bar broke out of it, but it appears to be working okay. And with the cushion in there, it's hardly noticeable, but I just wanted to point it out. The radar arch in good condition. We've got the stainless steel frame carrying the radome, the Raymarine radome, which is matched up to that C120 display downstairs. We've got a TV antenna here as well, Glomex TV antenna, GPS aerial and VHF antenna. So all this hardware is back here, out of the road, all in really good condition. The stainless steel works great. There's no damage or anything to the arch, and it all looks the part. So taking a look at the flybridge helm station, the helm seat is more or less along the centre line of the boat, so it's a good commanding helm station. Great visibility over the top of the screen. It's going to be a nice place to drive the boat on a sunny day, or if you're getting to grips with it for the first time. Or I know a lot of people moving up from a sports boat or an open boat to a flybridge or an enclosed helm cruiser can struggle with the enclosed helm station. So having this open air helm where you can quickly juke out either side of the boat and see exactly where you are in relation to the jetty is a nice thing to have. So nice open air helm. With all the sort of essential equipment up here, so with the EVC system you can easily, with the ignitions turned on downstairs, you can easily hit the key button and take control of the helm station. Up here you get the same fly-by-wire throttle shift controls here for both engines. We have our EVC tachos with our readings which match the lower helm, so 523 hours in the port engine, 525 hours in the starboard engine. You can cycle through with the screen, the EVC panel, all your engine info and stuff like that, so you get the exact same control panel and tachos as you do downstairs. We've then got voltmeters for the port and starboard battery banks up here. We've got our bow thruster controller, so you've obviously got control of the bow thruster up here. EVC engine start and stop panel. We've got a horn switch up here and control for the anchor windlass. Now you do have to have the anchor windlass turned on downstairs, but you can raise and lower the anchor from up here. We've got our rudder indicator, so you can see exactly what position the rudder's in, very useful whenever you're coming in to berth the boat. And finally we've got a Raymarine ST60 repeater for the speed and depth log downstairs. You can cycle through depth, you can go into your speed, and you've got all that info up here, so that's all you need. You also have a steering compass here up on top of the dash, so everything. And we've got trim tab controls up here too for those Volvo QL trim tab systems with the LED indicators. Again, it's the exact same panel that you have downstairs. So everything you need to helm the boat up here, and it's all like everything downstairs, everything up here is in perfect working order. This boat has a separate, so it has a full tonneau cover for the flybridge, which if you check out the photographs at the bottom of our page on our website, the gallery, you'll see photographs with the tonneau cover on. But in addition to the big tonneau cover, it has an individual helm station cover, console cover, plus covers for these two helm seats. The helm seat and passenger seat up here. So I find that having those covers is a very minor thing, but it makes a huge difference to the condition of a flybridge, because if you have a nice spell of good weather, really tempting to just leave the tonneau cover off the flybridge, because it is a bit of a faff to put it off and on all the time. But if you do that and leave the dash open to the elements, it doesn't take long before you start getting problems with water ingression into switches, screens on instruments start to crack and things like that, so the helm station can go downhill very quickly. But having that individual cover just keeps everything up here in great condition. These seats, as the console itself, are all in perfect condition, no corrosion up here. The dash looks the part, throttling shifts work perfectly, and as I said, a full suite of working instrumentation up here, so really nice flybridge helm station. One other thing about the access door under the saloon is that the stainless steel one was an upgrade over the standard one, so this is an option that you won't find on a lot of Prestige 36s. It slides open nicely, you can lock it in the open position, and then just one wee small step into the saloon here. There's a beautiful spacious saloon on the boat, really nice and bright and airy with a huge saloon windows all the way around. We've got an L-shaped sofa around this saloon table. We've also got another opposing bench here on the port side. Nice little locker arrangement there. We've got a TV, DVD player. We've got a lower galley down here and a huge big twin wide helm seat. It's in fantastic condition. This boat, having had only the one owner from new and really only been used for day use, I'm only 525 hours in the clock, in here has been very lightly used. It also has a bunch of upgrades over and above the sort of standard spec. So some of the upgrades include this table. This table is, I think it's from the next model up. So it was maybe the Prestige 42 or something. So it's a much bigger, beefier sort of table. It's also like folds out, so if you know, the owner has had all these glass tops made to protect all the wood surfaces in the saloon. So this is a custom made glass top. You can lift that top off, that table folds out, and because it's always had the glass top in position, the table itself is like brand new. So it is a Jeanneau table. There's two screws that hold it in position as well, so whenever you're at sea, even if you're in heavier seas, it's not going to move around on you. You'll also see all these glass tops around the backs of the seats on both sides, along this little countertop here as well. So what this is basically protected the wood underneath, and it's all made with little rubber feet on them, so they never move. There's no squeaks or rattles all the way around that little shelf in the galley too. So this is all little custom upgrades that the owner did just to try and protect the boat, keep it looking its best for longer. So, and it really has worked. The upholstery is beautiful. The woodwork is fantastic with a solid wood floor here. There is carpets as well. There's like white carpets that you see little button poppers here with the carpets fastened in. The carpets have never been used. The owner again brought them here today. They're down in the aft cabin, but they have never been used. The owner said they were too nice. He didn't want to get them ruined, so the carpets were kept at home. But the floors have held up really well to the traffic. This boat has Webasto heating throughout, and we've got heater outlets down here at your feet. In the saloon, there's heater outlets down in the, I think there's one in the galley and all the cabins as well. So really good heating system with a full timer controller over here, which again was another one that was fitted, upgraded from the standard controller. So you get your 7-day programmable timer there, so you can set the heating to come off and on throughout the week. But yeah, really nice saloon area back here, and you'll easily accommodate sort of 6 or 7 people around that table. As you step into the saloon here, you've got your battery breaker panels here, so you get your key switch to turn your main batteries off. Then you got your electronic breakers here, so you turn all your bits and pieces of equipment on and off. Bit of storage then below that. All the hinges and clips and catches in this boat are in great condition. Got the TV mounted in this swivel bracket with a digital receiver hooked up to the antenna, Glomex antenna on the radar arch. You see we've got all chrome sockets now. I'm pretty sure this is another upgrade that the owner's done as well. So all brushed chrome UK spec sockets throughout the boat, which are a nice touch. It's not the European ones, you know, you've sort of most of them have been converted over. And then we've got 3 drawers here for storing bits and pieces, and this bottom one is a drinks holder as well. Again, all in nice condition. We've got a really commanding helm station on the boat, so the seat's elevated up, so you're looking over the heads of your guests here in the lower saloon, or sitting back there in the saloon, so you get clear visibility all the way around the boat. Huge big screen that's well cleared with 2 big pantograph wipers on the port and starboard side. We've got this little opening side window here, so you can stick your head out and talk to crew, or just keep an eye on where you're coming alongside. And then full range of marine instruments, all your switch panel up here. We've got a big large screen chart plotter here as well, the radar, all the sort of bits and pieces of equipment that you would need and expect on a coastal cruising boat like this. Comfortable seating position, nice supportive backrest, moulded in floor with non-skid on the floor in here. So again, if you're out in heavier conditions, you need a sort of bit more sure-footedness than on a wooden floor, so that's what they've done up here. And then the run through the equipment here, we've obviously got the boat's fitted with those Volvo D6 310 horsepower motor, so they are an upgraded motor over the standard D4s, the 260 horsepower. Now the benefit of that is obviously more horsepower means that you're going to get home in a hurry if you need to. She's going to be going to hold the boat on plane. There's obviously a torquier motor too, hold the boat on plane down to slower speeds and stuff. But it also means that you've got more weight set low in the hull. So some people would argue that gives the boat better sea keeping, makes her more stable in the water, less rolly, and gives her better sea keeping whenever you're underway. The engines currently have 525 hours on it, so 524 on the port engine, 525 on the starboard one. To find the two engines being so close in hours is pretty unusual, because things can happen. You can have a breakdown, or you can wrap a rope around a prop or something and you end up coming home on one engine. The fact that this has the same engines, I mean, the owner tells me, touch wood, he's literally never had an issue, never had a breakdown, none of the engines were stopped. So this ties in with that story. You know, he says the boat has been super reliable and he's never had an issue with it. But it's a full EVC control system, so you press the little key button to take control. You got the digital tacho here, so you can cycle through engine hours. We've got engine RPM, coolant temperature, oil pressure, turbo pressure, battery voltage, back to engine hours, and then you've got a bunch of settings and additional info as well, so you can get the settings and stuff like that. So if you do have any faults as well, this will read out a fault code on the screen and it'll point you to the area that's given the problems, things like that. So a nice sophisticated system. These are obviously digital throttle and shift as well, so super smooth finger-like controls, and it's a really, you know, sort of up-to-date system. We got oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, a rudder indicator here as well, so you can see what position your rudder's in whenever you're coming in to berth the boat, and the same on the for the other engine. We've got fuel tank gauges. You just hit this fuel tank switch. Boat's currently got 3/4 of a tank of fuel in the port and starboard tanks. There's two 400 litre tanks in this boat, so 800 litres of fuel capacity in total. And then taking a run across the switch gear, we've got navigation light switches. This is some cabin lights, panel lights, overhead cockpit lights in the saloon here. This sort of electrical thunderbolt thing powers up all the Ray Marine equipment. You got water pump, another fresh water pump. This anchor windlass turns on here, and you can raise and lower the anchor with this. There's some other anchor switch somewhere. It'll come to me. Panel lights, autopilot's redundant on this boat. Got the horn, windscreen wipers. Everything in this boat is working perfectly. Windscreen washers, screen demisters, another really good feature on a cruising boat. So you got two outlets there up at the windscreen, so if you're operating the boat in the winter or on a damp day and the screens are steaming up, you hit the windscreen demisters, clears the windscreens for you. We got bilge pump switches over here on the right hand side, fuel tank. This one turns on the fuel tank gauges. Here's our anchor switch. So if you knock on the anchor windlass there, you can raise and lower the anchor with a switch here. This is repeated up at the flybridge helm as well. So all your switches easy to get to. We've also got a controller for our bow thruster, which is in perfect working order. Just hold it in, that turns it on. Boat really does respond well to the thruster, although because she is so easy to drive with the twin throttles, you don't really need the thruster all that much, but you have it there. This we got our Volvo QL trim tabs in this boat with LED indicators, so they're working perfectly, so you can use the tabs to control the running angle of the boat. One of the things that I've read online about the reviews of this boat is whenever you're punching into head beam, you know, head sea, so you're literally punching head on into a big sea, she can sometimes be a wee bit slammy, but with the addition of trim tabs, it keeps her nose down into the sea and it makes it a much smoother ride. Because she's that big flare in the bow, she throws a spray well clear too. So trim tabs, I've read online that trim tabs are a nice thing to have on the boat, especially if you're going to be doing some cruising around the coast. So this boat has the full QL trim tabs and they're in perfect working order. You've also got controls for this repeated up at the flybridge helm. We've got a big 12-inch screen Ray Marine C120 chart plotter, also with a radar system on her as well. The radar's working, chart plotter's working, everything's good. She's got a fix there. We were getting speed information and stuff from her, so a nice large screen chart plotter for coastal navigating. We've got a Ray Marine ST60 speed and depth log over here, so you can get your depth of water, speed whenever you're underway. This was reading slightly low, I noticed, whenever we were out on the water, but I would say that's probably because there's a bit of growth in the bottom of the boat now. She's been in the water for a while, so it's probably just a wee paddle wheel needing cleaned up. We've got a Raymarine VHF radio here, which is linked into the chart plotter, so she's got position information. She's a DSC radio with a single button distress calling feature as well, all in perfect working order. Ignition switches, and then down below the dash we have our DC and AC panels here. So this little switch tells you the voltage in each of your batteries. So we've got house battery, which is showing 12 volts, engine battery 12 volts, auxiliary battery just over 12.5 volts as well. So this also tells you your current draw, and you can see the charging currents too whenever the engine's running from the 2 alternators and your battery chargers and things like that when you're plugged into shore power. So nice wee DC panel, control panel there. I should also say the boat has had a brand new set of batteries. There's 6 batteries in total, and it's had a brand new set of batteries fitted there last year in 2018. So all the batteries are in perfect condition. You're not going to have any power issues. This is your AC panel, so whenever you're plugged into shore power, you get your AC voltmeter here, and you get switches for your water heater, battery charger, AC sockets as well. So nice and easy to get to, clear screens, easy to read. Finally on the dash we've got a Sony Marine stereo, an X-Pod stereo, which has actually got a tape deck unusually, but she's also got a tuner and a CD player as well. There's a 6-disc CD changer underneath the helm seat, so I think this helm seat lifts up and you get a 6-disc CD changer, which is in perfect working order, with 2 speakers in the saloon and 2 speakers up on the flybridge. We got a steering compass here too, so if you're navigating by the traditional means, you get a good steering compass there, and a wee bit of storage here at your right hand side. So everything on the dash is working. We've had the boat out on the water. She drives really nice. She gets up on plane quickly. She does need a clean. She hasn't been out of the water now since I think it was around about March 2018. So she's been in the water just sort of a year and 3 or 4 months. So she does need to come out of the water, have this hull scrubbed, probably a fresh coat of antifoil, and check the anodes and things like that. But the engines are running nice. There's no smoke out of her. She's starting on the button. Super smooth. It's nice and quiet as well. There's quite a lot of soundproofing in the saloon floor, so this cabin's well insulated, so you can have a conversation with your guests whenever you're underway, or if you want the wind in your hair experience, you can drive the boat from the flybridge helm. But really nice handling boat. A breeze. The engines are quite wide, they're wide set, or they're well spaced, so you get really good rotation. If you put one engine forward, the other engine astern, you can literally spin this boat within its own length, and it's really well mannered around the marina. I found her a breeze to berth, both for taking the boat out and coming back in again, and having the security of the bow thruster there means you get total control over it. So really nice boat to handle around the marina, and a pleasure to drive cruise underway. She was running, we sort of struggled to get top speed out of her because for reasons stated, but we got her about 2,600, 2,700 RPM. She was making 21 knots, and she was, very sure-footed, no problems with her, running really nice. But with a scrub of the hull, she'll do 30 knots, I'm sure, no problem. So lovely helm station, nice wooden rim, Jeanneau steering wheel, perfect for coastal cruising. So we're just out on sea trial here in the Prestige 36, and I've driven her from the lower helm and the upper helm, and the boat's running really nicely. The engines are silky smooth, all the oil pressures, temperatures, everything looks great on the gauges. The EVC controls here are finger light and really nice, so nice gear shifts, nice throttle. One of the things I've noticed about the boat, you couldn't describe it as a sporty experience, but there's plenty of power on tap. The boat gets up on plane quickly. Now it is holding back a little bit. The boat hasn't been out of the water for around a year or so, so the bottom definitely needs a scrub and probably a fresh coat of anti-fouling paint. The owner tells me, and all the reviews and everything say, that these boats are good for 30 knots with the D6 310 horsepower. That's just the bow thruster turning itself off there, or warning me that it's about to turn off, so I'll just turn it off there. But yeah, so according to the reviews and the specs and everything, the D6 310 is good for about 30 knots top end, and cruises around about 25 knots. So the owner was telling me he normally runs around 3,000 RPM and 25 knots, but due to sort of ill health, he hasn't been able to use it all that terribly much in the last year or so, hence why it's a wee bit dirty underneath. We were only getting her up to about 2,700 RPM, and she was doing about 20 knots. Now she was getting there quickly. You can tell there's plenty of grunt there. She's getting up there quickly, but she's just holding back because the bottom is dirty. So that would be something that would need sorted before the boat will go to a new home. However, I'm happy that there's the engines are running strong. All the oil pressure, temperatures are good. They're totally smooth. There's no smoke or anything coming out of her. No shudders or rattles. Very solid feeling boat. So she gets up on plane quickly. She's very responsive to throttles actually. So I mean, if I just flick this in and around the marina, she's a breeze. If I go ahead on one engine and a stern on the other, she will very easily turn in her own length, pretty much. Just give her a, oh sorry, that would be a good idea if I took control of the helm. So because I was on the flybridge, I've got to take control of the helm down here. So you press this key button and then that gives us control. That's a bit better now, down at the lower helm. So as you see, if I put her into forward and one on the starboard engine and the stern on the port engine, she very quickly starts to rotate within her own length, really. So you could actually sort of drive this boat without a steering wheel if needs be. So she is very manoeuvrable that way, and then she's not really, as I said, it's more of a sort of sedate cruiser. Not a sedate cruiser, it does 30 knots, like it's a pretty fast cruiser, but she doesn't respond massively to helm whenever you're at cruising speeds either. There's quite small rudders on the boat, as far as I know from the research I've done. So to get her to turn a bit tighter, I was doing some quite sweeping turns there. You sort of have to increase revs on the outside engine, pull back on the inside engine, and that'll get her to turn a bit tighter too. So it takes a wee bit of getting used to, but a nice solid feeling boat. Obviously the benefit of those shafts and rudders is that she's much more sure-footed in lumpy conditions. You obviously don't have the maintenance headaches that outdrives as well. The shaft drive engines are a much simpler system, so the boat's driving really nice. Everything on the dash is working. She's a lovely thing to handle, very well mannered around the marina as well, because she does pivot so easily on the throttles. You don't even need too much bow thruster, and you can place her very nicely wherever you want to. So nice solid feeling boat, performing really well, just needs a bottom scrubbed and she'll be as good as new again. So yeah, really nice sea trial here. So we have a nice compact lower galley down here with a 3-ring gas hob, microwave oven, a big fridge underneath, and a twin drainer sink. So it's all in beautiful condition again. The owner reckons that he used it to prepare a meal once, and other than that it was really just to boil the kettle. But we've got a nice heat resistant lid over the gas hob. It's in beautiful condition. Heat resistant paneling on the side here as well. Nice handrail here, big chunky handrail, so you can hang on if you're down here whenever the boat's underway. Microwave oven, looks like it's literally never been used, in beautiful condition. And then plenty of storage around here as well for cups and plates and all that sort of stuff. In behind there, these lids lift out a nice deep twin drainer sink here with hot and cold running water. And if you're using the counter, you can set these covers in, and then that extends your countertop space. A bit of storage underneath the sink as well. Little bin in this cupboard, and a good sized fridge. Nice large fridge in there as well, so you can easily stock the boat up with enough supplies to last you for sort of a week on the water. And if you're going away, you know, a family of 4 or whatever, cruising for extended periods of time, you can, you know, prepare all your meals down here with ease. So nice galley. Obviously the solid wood floors extend throughout the entire cabin of the boat, including down here. So, and you've got a wee heater outlet here at your feet in the galley too. So coming forward then, down into the cabin area, we've got 3 doors off this little central landing area. So we've got heads compartment here on the port side with ensuite access into the forward master cabin, and then we've got a second guest cabin here on the port side. So we're going to take a look around the cabins now. So the aft cabin is a nice double cabin. We've got great standing headroom here at the door. Little vanity mirror there. You can also open that panel, swing that panel down to get service access to the back of the dash if needs be. There's a wee opening port light in here, a couple overhead spotlights at the door, a nice hanging locker there as well with a wee shelf on top with fiddled edge on it, and then you've got 2 single berths with reading lights at the head of the bed. There we go, reading lights on. So you've got, those are individually operable for each side. So you've got a nice personal reading light for each berth. There's a wee bedside locker there with a bit of storage in there, and everything in here is in beautiful condition. Again, I would say this cabin has probably never been slept in. You can see we've got the flybridge cushions and stuff down in here, and some other bits and bobs. The carpets and things are there. Some of the flybridge covers. So it doubles up as a bit of storage space if you're not using it as a cabin. But a really nice cabin, very spacious, plenty of room to get changed here at the entrance into it. And yeah, really nice guest cabin for kids to sleep in, or if you're cruising with company, they'll be happy with the facilities in here, I would say. So we have a beautiful master cabin on the boat up forward. Really nice and bright and airy. I mean, one of the features of the boat is obviously that flared bow that I spoke about a couple of times, which gives her such good sea keeping, but it also means that you get a really spacious forward cabin. So, you know, lots of elbow room in here, nice downlighters throughout, an open deck hatch there with a little screen on it. There's obviously curtains to screen off the portholes as well. Nice big mirror up forward, and an island double, so you can easily get in and out both sides of the bed. Little bedside lockers on both sides. You've got a large hanging locker here on the starboard side. Nice big hanging locker in there. Works as a wardrobe. Solid wood floors in here as well. Another bedside locker over the port side. And then we have ensuite access into the heads compartment. So if you're using the heads in the middle of the night, you don't have to disturb your other guests. So we'll take a wee look around that heads now in a wee second. But very nice owner's cabin up forward, and yeah, a really good size cabin for a 36-footer. The heads compartment is obviously accessible from the main landing area or via that ensuite access from the master cabin, and it's a very nice heads compartment, good size. You've got this little sort of rotating glass shower door, so you can close that off and you've got a proper separate shower stall above the toilet. We've got an opening port light there, overhead spotlights in the roof, nice wee vanity mirror. We've got a nice highly polished stainless steel sink, hot and cold mixer tap. Obviously got a separate shower head with hot and cold mixer in the shower compartment. It's an electric flush toilet, so push button toilet, bit of storage underneath the sink, vanity mirror with a little light above it as well, towel rail and stuff there. So again, a nice heads compartment, shower compartment, which is decent space and perfect for, you know, if you're cruising on the boat, you want a decent heads compartment, and this one doesn't disappoint. Engine access for your daily checks is pretty straightforward. You just lift up this hatch in the saloon floor and then pull out this panel with the soundproofing on it. So as you can see, there's loads of soundproofing on all the saloon floors, so it's nice and quiet in the saloon, and insulates the noise from the engine bay. But you've got decent room. As I said, these engines are fairly widely spaced. The engines are set quite far apart in the boat, which means it's great for manoeuvrability, but it also means we've good access down there for servicing and checks and things. This boat's fitted with a pair of Volvo painted D6 310 horsepower motors. They're built in 2007, same year as the boat, and they're going to get 525 hours on them. Condition wise, this engine bay looks mint to me. All the original paint finish on the engine, there's virtually no corrosion. Even the engine mounts look good. You can see we've got batteries down along the centre line of the keel. They were replaced last year, as I said, but brand new set of batteries. The bilge is nice and dry. There's no evidence of any high water marks. The boat has been regularly serviced by the owner. Got engine room lights in here. it's written on the top of the filter the last time she was serviced. So she was serviced at 452 hours, which is just about 70 hours ago. But that was in August 2017, so 2 years ago, but she's only done 70 hours in the last 2 years. So she's fully serviced at that time. She is due to come out of the water now and be given a scrub and an antifoil. And probably if you're pressing her into service and going to be doing big hours next season, you would give her a full engine service too. But she has been serviced up to date and she's in good condition. One of the other things on these motors, they're electronic motors, so the integrity of the wiring is very important. You know, you don't want any corrosion on connectors or anything, so you want to make sure that all your wiring boxes, your EVC control boxes back there, all look nice and clean and tidy with no evidence of any water ingress around them or any corrosion around any of the connectors, and that is the case with all those wiring boxes. Everything's neatly installed, looks really good, nice and clean and tidy and dry, and it's just a really smart engine bay. So obviously we would welcome anybody to come along, have a survey done if you're going to buy the boat, but that looks like a really tidy engine bay to me, and those D6 310 horsepowers are a really good engine to have in this boat. One other wee quick thing I want to point out while we're here is this, see the steel support frame that carries the saloon floor. Again, this isn't something you would see on all boats. You know, if you've got timber supports in a boat, can make the floor quite creaky, gives a bit of play in the floor as well, so you start to get, you know, just sloppiness in the floor. Can go soggy over time, but this one with these solid steel supports means that this whole saloon floor is rock solid, no squeaks or rattles or anything out of it. Just it really is a well put together boat. Bilge access throughout the boat is good, obviously into the engine bay, but you know, you've got lift up panels underneath all the floorboards so you can get access for servicing or maintenance. Just taking a wee look at this one because it's easy to look at, and we've got a clarifier down in here, a fresh water pump. There's also an accumulator on the fresh water system, so it maintains pressure better. I'm not too sure exactly the size of the clarifier, but it looks like a big one. And as you can see down in there, everything's nice and it probably needs a bit of a hoover. It's a bit dusty down in there, but it's dry, which is the main thing, most important thing. And all the pipes look well secured, no evidence of any water leaks or anything. So, like, behind the scenes, this boat is as nice as it is, you know, on the surface, so that's always a good sign whenever you're looking at a boat like this with so much equipment on board. You want to make sure that it's all in good order, being well looked after. The boat comes complete with a really good set of covers, so nice green covers to match the pinstriping around the waterline. We've got a tonneau cover for the flybridge, and then we've got these wraparound covers for the aft cockpit. They're all in really good condition. I think they are the original covers. They probably haven't been used very much, but they're in very good condition. And they really do enhance the sort of usability of the boat. Stepping inside here with the covers up, because we have such a long overhang on the flybridge, it means that these curtains are almost vertical, so you don't lose any headroom. Even if you've got passengers sitting on the rear bench here, they're going to have plenty of headroom with those covers up, and it just means you've got so much more usable living space whenever you're out and away on the boat. Even if the weather's against you, you know, you're going to be nice and warm and dry inside the aft cockpit. The perspex screens are good, all the zips are very good, all the clips and catches are perfect. So and you know, if you've ever gone to replace a set of covers like this, you know you could easily spend 2 or 3 grand on them. So the fact that these ones are all present, correct, and in really good condition is a big bonus as well. So there you have it. That's our 2007 Jeanneau Prestige 36. If you're still watching the video, congratulations, because it's been a particularly long video. I've spent all day in this boat, along with a couple of my guys, and we've literally been in every compartment, gone through everything, had a really good look around it. We spent probably 45 minutes or so on the water as well. We've had the boat out in the marina and turned it around a couple of times, and the more time I spend on it, the more I like it. It really is a cracking boat. Very easy to handle, very well mannered in the marina. Probably one of the nicest boats I've driven of this size, you know, a breeze to handle around the marina. Performs well underway, does need the bottom scrubbed, but there's not a shadow of doubt in my mind that the engines and mechanically this boat's in A1 condition. She's only got 525 hours on the clock, got the big D6 310 horsepower engines, the fantastic spec including the bow thruster, the covers, the upgraded patio door. She's got electric flush toilet, heating system, all the Raymarine electronics, and the owner has really looked after her very well. Obviously being a one owner boat with a solid history, that's a very good thing to have as well. But he's looked after her well, and he's done a lot of nice upgrades, like this upgraded table, all the glass countertops. she just is a fantastic example of a Prestige 36. She's one of the younger ones, being a 2007 boat with 500 hours on the clock. She's probably one of the fresher ones on the market. She's got to be one of the nicest ones, and she's very seriously for sale. The owner's only moving on really because of a health issue, which means he's not being able to use the boat as much as he would like, and rather than having it sitting and sort of going to you know, the condition slowly deteriorating over time, he'd rather let it go to a new home and have somebody else enjoy her. So if you're interested in the boat, you're more than welcome to come and see it. If you want to arrange a sea trial, if you've got any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Give me a call on the number at the top of the website, or send me an email to sales@gulfstreamshop.com, or fill out the callback request form on this page of the site, and I'll contact you at a time that's convenient. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you like the boat as much as I do, and I'd be delighted to speak to you about it if you think it might be the right one for you. Thanks very much.